Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I appreciate you all stopping by. I apologize for being gone for so long, and I know what the question is going to be. Why were you away for so long? Why haven't you uploaded any content within a full calendar year? Well, as most of you know, this craziness of the whole COVID-19 fiasco has just completely uprooted everybody's lives, including mine. There were some things throughout this pandemic, and may I remind people that this is still a pandemic, despite getting vaccinations. But anyway, that's neither here or there, and this channel's not political. But anyway, since this whole COVID-19 fiasco started, there's been a lot of issues that have arisen about my health. Sleeping issues is one of them. The other part has been depression, and I've been dealing with it for pretty much over a year now. Some days are better than others, and ultimately, my weight has just gotten out of control. As a result, I've had high blood pressure, my cholesterol slightly high, the whole 9 yards, and I'm borderline type 2. So, unfortunately, it's no joke, which is why I've had to pretty much put my health first, because for so long, I've been having to put everybody else's health and everybody else's wants and needs before myself, because I'm a nice guy. And unfortunately, I went to the doctor and they were like, yeah, it's out of control. You need to get it together if you want to live past 50. So that's the status with that. So although it's a long road, I'm doing everything that I can to get healthy. So eventually I want to live past 50. I want to be able to get through this pandemic and see the world. Obviously right now with these COVID restrictions still in place, despite some states still opening, you can't really go out and see the world like you want to, because either you have to have the vaccination, you gotta worry about catching the virus, you gotta wear the mask, and it's frustrating, especially from my standpoint, with circumstances being different. And I realize we're still in the midst of a pandemic. I totally get that. But it's frustrating when you see everybody else being able to see the world. And it's also frustrating when some of your best friends are going to see an upcoming AEW Dynamite in Charlotte, North Carolina, Fight for the Fallen. And you can't go because you gotta worry about catching COVID-19, you gotta have the vaccination, this and that, which I need to work at getting. And don't get me wrong, I have nothing against my best friends. I'm totally happy for them, but it's just frustrating from a financial standpoint and a pandemic standpoint that they get to go out and see the world and you can't. So, one of these days I'll be able to see the world and maybe go to an AEW event. Who knows? But anyway, with this whole 1 year break that I've had from YouTube and this channel, it's allowed me to reflect back. What have we done that's made this channel so successful? What have we done that has been pretty bad ideas? And we've had a lot of bad ideas, trust me. You know, going back and watching some of my old videos, I'm like, yeah, this is kind of shit. Pardon my language there. But anyway, so with that being said, it's allowed me to reflect, you know, what can I do differently? You know, I need to stick to what I've been successful at, which obviously has been between sports games and professional wrestling. You know, like I said, professional wrestling has always been my love since, Jesus, since I was basically a little teeny tiny toddler. You know, my first match I ever saw was Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels in that 60-minute Iron Man match at WrestleMania 12 at the Arrowhead Pond. Obviously, I was not there. I watched it on pay-per-view like the rest of the world, but still, after those two went at it, I was basically hooked on professional wrestling from there on out. So, back to the topic at hand before we get off topic here. But anyway, with the love of professional wrestling, that's one of the things that's never going away on this channel. It's made the channel so successful despite my opinions on the current day wrestling games. Excuse me, WWE 2K20, 2K Battlegrounds. But anyway, you know, all jabs and kidding aside, you know, we gotta stick to what's made the channel successful, you know, but it does not hurt to try new things every once in a while. And I know most of my subscribers here have either come for the sports content or for the pro wrestling content, mainly the pro wrestling content. So regardless of how many subscribers I've had, or that I currently have, regardless of how many views I get per video, I appreciate y'all's love and support no matter what, because without y'all, I would not be doing this for a living. I would not be trying to bring the best videos possible to YouTube, to Twitch, whatever platform we're on. So, you know, we're gonna stick to what's made us successful. So expect a lot of pro wrestling content going forward, but we're not gonna put out content just for the sake of putting out content either. It's got to have meaning behind it before you just go putting it out there. One of the things I've done on my off time, I was finally able to get a hold of a PlayStation 5, as most of y'all know and probably are seeing right now from the gameplay videos that I have going on right now. Despite WWE 2K20 being for the PS4, I recorded some background videos on the PlayStation 5, and it is currently playing in 4K at 60 frames per second. I am just completely in love with the PlayStation 5. I love it so damn much. It's probably the best console out there right now, and I don't care what anybody says. You know, it's not up for discussion. You know, keep your opinions to yourself. So, with that being said, also on the off time, because of getting the PlayStation 5, etc., I've managed to give the channel a semi-facelift. You know, we're getting rid of the old pro wrestling style themes, you know, all that shit is pretty much gonna be gone from here on out. I've gone with a 80s Miami retro beach theme, kind of like a Vice City style. The logo's not gonna change. The logo's gonna stay the same unless anything changes from that standpoint. So, you know, we're gonna give the channel a semi-facelift. And also on my off time, this tough this is a tough subject that, I'm having to talk about right here. I feel like with the WWE games, there's a love-hate relationship there. I appreciate the fact that it's made the channel so successful, despite the recent WWE simulation, WWE 2K20. And if you want to throw 2K Battlegrounds in there too, I totally understand. Both games were garbage. Buggy, and still are garbage. Buggy messes, what have you. 2K has just literally dropped the ball. And it's like I said in my WWE 2K20 review, it just seems like nowadays they only listen to the YouTubers, the popular YouTubers. They don't want to listen to smaller YouTubers like myself. They don't want to listen to, hardcore gamers who have been playing wrestling games for years, like myself. They don't want to listen to us. And I feel like as time has gone on, Lionel Jinx and the whole development team at Visual Concepts have become very, very, very lazy, uncreative, uninspiring developers. Now, I'm not going to say totally uncreative, because there is some things, that I kind of did like about WWE 2K20. The My Career mode, I really loved, and still love to this day. But some of the off-the-wall ideas like 2K Originals, at first, I was on the fence about it. I was like, yeah, up on the night, was decent. We can only go up from here, right? Well, that's where things took a turn for the worse for the game. So, they have just become lazy. They don't want to listen to the community. They don't want to... Hell, as of late, they don't want to even listen to the popular YouTubers, which is just... It's mind-boggling, considering they invite them out every freaking year, to get early gameplay footage, let them show off screenshots of the game, etc. And they're pretty much doing the popular YouTubers dirty also. And I think that's a bit unfair to them, because they've busted their ass to get their channels where they need to be. And for 2K, Take-Two Interactive, and WWE to pretty much treat them like shit, it's just totally uncalled for. And at the end of the day, I don't blame these popular wrestling YouTubers for moving on to other opportunities. So, with that being said, the following announcement I'm about to drop is gonna be a bombshell. This was not a tough... Let me rephrase that. It was a very tough decision to make. It was not easy. And it took a lot of thought and consideration into this, but given the fact how the only reason WWE 2K19 was so decent was because Yuke's was there to pick up the pieces when Visual Concepts would pretty much drop the ball. And it's pretty much clear that with Visual Concepts, 2K, and Take-Two Interactive, that Red Dead Redemption 2, GTA 5, and the NBA are higher priorities. WWE is secondary on the list. They don't give a shit about it, which, if you're not gonna give a shit about it, then why should we give a shit about your games? Because 2K20 was absolute dog shit. And 2K Battlegrounds was also absolute dog shit. So, it was a tough decision to make, it was not easy, but after a lot of time and consideration put into this, and knowing how WWE 2K22 is probably gonna be just as bad of a mess, if not worse, than WWE 2K20 because of how lazy Lionel Jenks and his development team have gotten over there at Visual Concepts, 2K, and Take-Two Interactive. And Take-Two Interactive obviously don't give a shit about gamers. Going forward, I will not be covering any future, let me put this in quotation marks, I will not be covering any future WWE releases. You know, obviously this still leaves the door open for past releases like maybe a SmackDown vs. Raw, Here Comes the Pain, etc. But going forward, I will not be covering WWE going forward. And it's not just the games that I'm very disappointed in. WWE for a while now has been a major declining product. And when a product is declining, do you really want to sit there and watch out of loyalty? Or do you know, that's what these fans don't get. They expect these wrestlers to just sit at home, retire, and do nothing after they're released by WWE. But if you were fired from a job, would you do that and wait for them to rehire you back? No. You would go back. Well, not go back. You would go and explore other opportunities at the end of the day. You go look for a new job. And, you know, it's a shame all these wrestlers who have been released by WWE and don't plan to return to WWE and have already gone to sign with other promotions. It's a shame that they're getting a bunch of hate because they clearly don't deserve it at the end of the day. You know, they gotta do their best to provide for themselves, for their families, just like you and me. So, you know, much respect to them going forward. And just the fact that WWE no longer listens to the fans, they're creative as shit. And on top of that, you know, whenever anything goes bad for them, or what we think is bad, the employees of WWE, most recent example, Peter Rosenberg, want to blame the fans for making sure WWE is seen in a negative light and why it's a bad product. And I call bullshit on that. At the end of the day, WWE did it to themselves. You know, 2K did it to themselves. Take-Two Interactive did it to themselves. And I don't feel sorry for them. And I understand, you know, given the opportunities to the big name YouTubers, but I don't. If they expect us, Take-Two Interactive especially, to just sit around and wait for the opportunity to come to us, and, you know, while these YouTubers go on for X amount of years making a living off of this, you know, they're sadly mistaken, which is why I had to make the tough decision. But within making that tough decision, new opportunities have arisen as of late. One of them right now is a wait-and-see situation, but the other I can publicly talk about now that their game is out. You know, before I go any further, be sure to smash that thumbs up button on this video as hard as you possibly can. Share it all over social media. Your views count. Subscribe to the channel. Do what you gotta do so you don't miss out on any more future videos, ladies and gentlemen. So, with that being said, with that tough decision, new opportunities for me have arisen. My channel may only have 60 subscribers at the moment, but I feel like going forward, we can grow. And with growing, you get new opportunities. Luckily, I've had a pretty good relationship with Electronic Arts. I've been fortunate enough to participate in UFC betas, NHL betas, FIFA betas, and maybe down the road, Madden betas. We'll have to wait and see, but I gotta send a great deal of gratitude to Electronic Arts. I am thankful for the opportunity they give me each and every time. I'm thankful for all the opportunities they give me. I'm thankful for everything they've done. And I'm happy to continue to work with them. I'm not an employee there, but I'm happy to have that working relationship with them. So, I'm not crying, you're crying. But with that being said, like I just alluded to, one of the opportunities is a wait and see situation, but the other opportunity I can now publicly speak about because the mobile game is already out. So the one that I can publicly talk about, as you've probably seen, all these popular YouTubers that you've seen cover the WWE games have recently been working with AEW. And luckily, AEW is not just working with the big name YouTubers. They are also giving smaller YouTubers an opportunity as well. And I'm going to give you an example of this. When they did the beta, when AEW Games did the beta for Elite General Manager, which is currently out on iOS and Google Play right now, so be sure to download it. But anyway, when I signed up for the Elite General Manager beta, when they started it, I was like, I've gotten 0 opportunities from WWE, 2K, Take-Two Interactive. I said, I'll put my name in the hat to be a part of this beta. But I know 99.9999999 infinite nines across the board percent that I'm not going to get a chance to be in this beta at all. That they're going to say that I'm a smaller YouTuber, we don't give a crap about you, the whole 9 yards. But when the beta started, I opened up my emails and saw that they sent me an invitation to not only their Elite General Manager beta, but I also got to join their Discord as well. And I'm like, well, this is different. So, right off the bat, I gotta thank AEW Games, Aubrey Edwards, Tony Khan, Kenny Omega, and especially All Elite Wrestling for giving me the opportunity to take part in this Elite General Manager beta, for allowing me to be part of their Discord. I am truly grateful for the opportunity they have recently given me. I'm hoping this is not a one-off, and maybe we can work together down the road if given the opportunity. I would really like to cover the upcoming AEW console game to the fullest. Speaking on that situation, by the way, another question I have been getting: are you gonna cover the upcoming AEW console game that is currently in development? And at the time, before the reveal, before all this fiasco went down, My original plan was no. Simply because, at that period in time, I did not want it to affect my status with Take-Two Interactive and WWE. Obviously, the ship has sailed on that, and because of that, getting these new opportunities and AEW giving me the opportunity, my answer has completely changed on the matter, on the question. So yes, we will be covering the upcoming AEW console game when it comes out. I've already seen some gameplay videos that they've put up, screenshots that they've put up on 2 Point Show. The game just looks fan-freaking-tastic. Obviously there's bugs and stuff that they have to work out before release, whenever that will be. But, the game's looking pretty good. It's looking like a hybrid of Here Comes the Pain and No Mercy. So I cannot wait to try the game out when it comes out. And, hopefully we can all have a good time. And, the reason why I'm gonna cover the AEW console game going forward, as most of you know, AEW is currently a hot product right now. They are just red hot at the moment. They recently, Chavo Guerrero just showed up. There's a lot of people that have recently signed with AEW, and all the men and women, all the professional wrestlers put their bodies and lives on the line. Say what you want about professional wrestling, but when you step in between those ropes, they risk injury and all, to give the fans the best show possible. Even though they don't have to, but they do, because they share the same passion we, the fans, do. And I thank AEW for listening to us, the fans, listening to the gamers first. I greatly appreciate the opportunity they recently gave me. And like I said, going forward, I do plan to cover the console game. And maybe we can work together going forward if given the opportunity. And I hope this wasn't a one-off. I would like more opportunities to work with you guys at AEW games and AEW down the road. Where was I? But anyway, I just pulled a Joe Biden moment right there. But anyway, getting back to the matter at hand, one other opportunity that I have received, and this is the one that is a wait and see situation because I have not heard back from them yet, but they have recently followed me on Twitter, and hopefully this is the start of something special. And and the company that did follow me happened to be Virtual Basement, the developers behind their upcoming wrestling game called The Wrestling Code. At first I heard of it, but I wasn't too keen on it. But once I saw the in-game models and everything, and at first I was like, man, this roster is not exciting, maybe I'll pass on this. But once you start hearing names like Sabu, Scott Steiner, Lance Storm, Justin Credible, Rob Van Dam, just so many big names, you're like, and even guys like Jay Lethal, Jonathan Gresham, a lot of big names, Ken Shamrock. And I'm like, holy shit. This is for real. Now I'm hooked. I'm interested in this game. So, regardless of what may happen, I do plan to cover the Wrestling Code as well. I know they got a video going up later today. I do plan to share my opinions on it, if not tonight, probably first thing tomorrow. But, you know, I'm interested. I want to see this game in action. Virtual Basement, thank you. You have really piqued my interest in your game as well. And if you do plan to give me the opportunity to work with you guys, you know, I am really grateful for it. You know, I am really appreciative of this opportunity. As of now, with both AEW and Virtual Basement, as far as knowing anything about the game or, you know, early gameplay footage or screenshots or anything like that, right now, I know nothing. When I see something, I'm seeing it at the same time as everybody else. But, you know, that's not to say maybe that will change down the road if they give me opportunity. You know, if they give me the opportunity, then within NDA, you know, when they clear us to share gameplay videos and stuff like that, you know, you'll be the first to hear it on this channel as well. So, yeah, I believe that wraps up everything, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, thank you, Aubrey Edwards, Tony Khan, Kenny Omega, everybody at AEW Games and All Elite Wrestling for the recent opportunity. And hopefully we get to, you know, hopefully this was not a one-off, and maybe we can work together down the road. You know, I would love another opportunity to work with you guys in any matter. You know, so thank you guys once again. And thank you to Virtual Basement for the follow on Twitter. I'm really interested in your upcoming game, and I cannot wait to cover it on this channel. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that is all that I wanted to share with y'all on this channel update. Be sure to smash that thumbs up button as hard as you possibly can. Share this video all around social media. If you have not followed me on social media yet, I have recently changed my Twitter handle. My new Twitter handle is Patty Ice 1995. And be sure to also subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of the upcoming sports games. As far as the lineup, like I said, we're not going to be covering WWE 2K22 or any future releases for WWE going forward, but we are going to cover the Wrestling Code. We are going to cover the upcoming AEW console game, and, you know, any other wrestling games that may rise on the horizon, you know, to fill in for time until the main games I'm looking forward to come out. As far as other sports games recently, I have gotten into Formula 1, so we will be doing a playthrough of the Breaking Point story mode in Formula 1 2021, and Madden 22 is on the horizon, so I will have some gameplay videos for Madden 22. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, this is your boy saying so long. Thank you so much for stopping by for this channel update, and I'll see you soon. See ya!